Hi everyone. I don't know about you, but something's been bugging me recently. Don't you think it's strange that sustainability literally means to sustain, to maintain the level of where we're at and what we already have? But if we do that, if we just suddenly stop everything from getting worse, we'd stop polluting our oceans and our atmosphere, stop destroying our forests and our wetlands. If we just sustain the level of where we're at, with the damage we've already done, we would still face planetary destruction. Basically, sustainability just doesn't cut the mustard anymore. Yes, we must reduce our carbon emissions. We need to look at how we source our food and our energy and stop our throwaway culture. But just limiting our carbon and environmental impact is no longer enough. We now need to go beyond that. We now need to restore. Let's take a look at carbon. Net zero will not stop us going beyond the dangerous 1.5 to 2 degrees of global warming. Scientific evidence shows us that we need to reach net negative emissions, where we're putting more carbon dioxide out the atmosphere than we're putting into it. And carbon, although it drives climate change is just the fever that Earth feels because of our utter destruction of nature. In fact, the other not so talked about crisis in the room is biodiversity loss. And with biodiversity loss comes complete ecosystem collapse, the collapse of our planet. Sounds like some sort of Hollywood dystopian film plot, but the truth is we're losing species faster today than in the run-up to any of the previous mass extinctions that have struck our planet. Pretty scary stuff. In fact, I remember the exact moment 5 years ago when I realised what was really going on. I had just put my then 2-year-old daughter, Senna, down for her nap when I read the bone-chilling article that said we only have 10 years left before we set off these irreversible tipping points that would lead to the end of civilization as we know it. I suddenly felt terrified for Senna's future. In 10 years' time, she would only be 12. What would life be like for her when she was 40 or 60? But how can just one individual, a mum from High Barnet, or you hospitality leaders, possibly go about making a difference that will even begin to have an impact on climate change or restoring the planet? Well, it's simple. There's this magic machine that sucks carbon out the atmosphere, costs very little, and builds itself. It's called a tree. But trees do so much more for us than just being carbon sinks. They clean the air we breathe. They filter the water we drink. They provide homes for the world's wildlife. They give us food and medicine, and they protect us against extreme weather. They prevent soil erosion and flooding, and they give jobs to 1.6 billion people. And they help form the very complex ecosystems that our very survival depends on. And in planting trees, we're also addressing other complex issues such as gender equality, zero hunger, no more poverty, marine biodiversity loss, clean drinking water. The list goes on and on. So when I discovered how cheap it was to plant a tree, just £1, I wanted to tell everyone. Because the more people I could get to join with me, the bigger collective impact we could have. With 10 million children in education, what if us parents planted a tree for each of our children? With 5.9 million businesses, what if a tree was planted with every property sold, or every insurance policy, or every hotel room? With around 1 million hotel rooms in the UK, what if you guys just upped the price of your hotel rooms by just £1 per night? Individually, just £1 to your customers is such a small amount, but collectively, it would really quickly add up. I'll leave it down to you guys to work out how many trees that means your hotels will plant every night and how big your forest would be after just 1 year. What's more, your hotels would no longer just be sustainable, they would be a force for good, working together to not just sustain, but restore the planet. Now that's a world that I want to be part of, don't you?